And we are live. It is hashtag Friday Pie Day. Boom. Everybody knows what day it is. I appreciate everybody for showing up. If you got anything for me, drop it in the comments section. Let me know that you're here. All the Wolfers. This is the Wolfer Briefing. This is not technical analysis, Drew. This is not Drew doing TA. I might do a little bit of TA, but this is the Wolfer Briefing. We talk about market news, things of that sort. That's exactly what we're going to do, right? Now, with that being said, let's just get into it, man. So it's been a pretty crazy week for the markets. We're still waiting on some, reversals, things of that sort. Shadow says he already knows what time it is. It's Friday Pie Day. I actually locked in some gains on a short. I'm not trying to flex on anybody or anything like that, but we got pizza money for the week, right? We got pizza money for the week. We're happy about that. That's good news. But it is what it is. So with that being said, you got a lot of stuff going on in the markets right now, man. Trump dumped everything. Trump pumped it and then dumped it, right? It's a pump and dump, a Trump a dump, right? Something like that. And yeah, we dumped out, man. We dumped out. We saw the tariff news come out, and it absolutely wrecked the markets. It absolutely wrecked the markets because Trump came in and said, hey, we're putting 8 billion tariffs on every single country in the entire world. And that's it. That's the news. He put a bunch of tariffs on China, massive tariffs on China. It was like over 50%. Market dumped hard. It went from 84,006 to about 81,006. So $3,000 in about 2 hours. That was literally today. And then whenever Trump did his thing, it dumped from about 88,005 to about 82,000. So $5,500. That's pretty decent sized dump. Okay. So my point, because of these tariffs being brought into the market, like Bitcoin is going down, gold is going to go up. Obviously gold's getting a little bit of a pullback. Gold was on a super cycle and it's doing its thing. But in any case, you're going to see risk assets getting murdered, like the S&P, the NASDAQ, things of that sort, Russell's 2000. You're going to see crypto getting hit. Altcoins are pumping right now. Altcoins are pumping. And Bitcoin dumped, right? So why did Bitcoin dump today? That's a pretty good question. Well, the first and foremost reason is because China came out with retaliatory tariffs on us after Trump announced his tariffs, right? So those tariffs are 34%. On top of the tariffs that they already had on U.S. imported goods, right? So obviously that murdered our markets, right? Secondarily, right after that, we got a nice little pump up. We dropped from, 84.8 or 84.6 to about 81.6, so about $3,000. And then we pumped up to about 83.6, almost $2,000. Why did that happen? Well, because the U.S. jobs data came out. Okay, the U.S. jobs data came in good, where they said, hey, we added over 100,000 or around 100,000 more jobs than what we thought we were going to add in March, I believe. And so that actually came in hot. So now we're getting like conflicting things happening right now. Hey, tariffs, massive bad thing, right? And then you've got the U.S. jobs data that's like, hey, our economy is doing pretty decent, right? But then you've got the housing market getting wrecked. You've got people trying to figure out what's going to happen with interest rates, things of that sort. So that's what we're kind of seeing right now, right? So let's just get straight into it, and we'll let everybody get back to their Friday Pie Days. Do my handy dandy transition, right? So gold is down heavy on profit taking, and take heavy with a grain of salt, okay? Because heavy is this. Gold is essentially down like 5%. Okay. Now, as I say, when in doubt, zoom out, right? Is it down that much? Right? Like it's hitting the one, it's just lost the 100 moving average on the 4-hour chart. The 200 moving average is at about $3,000. It's probably going to come down here and bounce, potentially, right? If it doesn't, then yeah, you're probably going to come down to these lows at about 28.83, right? Which was consequently, these previous all-time highs right here, right? So, gold is down, but Gold has been pumping for a very long time because of our current economic climate. Okay. So that's just something to keep in mind, because with these tariffs, with the, stuff going on in Iran and Israel, they just posted that video. The Iranian generals rolling through the mountains on the back of an ATV with an open top, missiles on both sides of them, just pew, pew, pew. Like, I mean, this thing was miles and miles long. They had tens of thousands of missiles. And then the U.S. was like, don't do that. And then Iran was like, oh, by the way, we're going to drop all the tariffs on you guys. Because the U.S. kind of got a little mad about them parading around their missiles that we don't want them to have, right? Or at least our administration does not want them to have. Now, here is somebody that's giving a Bitcoin price prediction other than myself, right? Here's when the market will recover. I haven't read this yet, but I'll tell you if there's any validity to it. But obviously there probably is if they're on cryptonomist.com. So let's see what they say. Liberation Day. It was Liberation Day, man. Liberation. We're going to liberate people, okay? Let's see what they're saying. Worse than the worst case scenario expected in the market. Major stock indices are down by 4.6%. NASDAQ 5 on the day. Crypto prices have crashed, trading, and now they're trading above the 81.6 report or support. Altcoins are faring much worse, but honestly, all the altcoins are up today, right? But if you go and you look at the price on these altcoins, right? Like Avalanche is at 17, 18 bucks, right? ETH is not looking awesome, probably 1,800 bucks, right? So they have not really gone down too terribly much, but they are down, right? Let's look at what Sonic's doing. Sonic's up 10% today. Here's the one thing you got to think about with Sonic, though. The reason why Sonic has been holding up so well, right, and just like getting eaten up, is because they're doing their airdrop thing. And they've got a bunch of people that have all their tokens locked up for that airdrop. Okay. So look at Toncoin getting smashed, right? Look at Doge. Doge is barely up, probably 6-7%. So, I mean, take all these things with a grain of salt. But, in any case, let's see what this person's price prediction is. Could those Liberation Day tariffs lead to a macro bottom? I mean, that would be great, because what you're seeing on Bitcoin right now is this. Let's go to the 4-hour chart, actually. Top, you got a nice rounded top here. But could this be the bottom right here, $76,000, $77,000? Get into a micro uptrend, right? You got to get micro before you get macro, right? But unfortunately, you've got your low, you've got your higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, just barely, right? Let's see if it squeaked it out. Yes, it did. Lower low. And again, lower high. Could we come down here to a lower low? I think that 78, 79K is still in play, in my opinion. So let's see what this guy says. Or gal, or non-binary person. We don't discriminate. Let's see what they say. Moreover, Trump's announcement could force the Federal Reserve's hand, accelerating the case for rate cuts. That's not going to be bullish. Three rate cuts this year. That's bullish for gold. Rate cuts are bullish for gold. Not necessarily risk assets. Because usually when rate cuts happen, the money printer turns on and inflation happens. The global M2 has been rallying since early January. Could see a bullish reversal as early as the second week of May. Okay. Bottoming zone. fart coin. For instance, fart coin has emerged. Dude, you got to feel like we're living in a clown world when you're a reporter, journalist, technical analysis, and you got to put fart coin in your article. Excellent beta play on Bitcoin. Fartcoin is an excellent beta play on Bitcoin. Fartcoin prices declined sharply in correlation with Bitcoin, but continues to hold above the 33-cent swing low on Fartcoin, preserving the bullish market structure. Should we look at Fartcoin? I want to look at Fartcoin. I think everybody wants to look at Fartcoin. Fart. Where's it at? Fartcoin. Oh my gosh. What a clown world that we live in. I mean, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. That's a cup and handy, baby. That's a cup and handy on the Fartcoin, man. What is going on? Of all things to be bullish, it's Fartcoin? Seriously? I hate it here. I hate it here. It is such a ridiculous place that we live in. What a market. Bro. Fartcoin with the cup and handy. You have got to be kidding me. What has my life come to? I'm literally doing TA on Fartcoin to see if this guy is right. I mean, this is calling for an 83-cent Fartcoin. Okay. I mean, I guess, just bounced off the 200. It's trying to reclaim the 50 and the 100 on the 4-hour chart. What's the 1 hour doing? Same thing. It's trying to reclaim the 200. Dude, Fartcoin might be bullish. Look, this is a cup and handle on the Fartcoin inside of the cup and handle. This guy's talking about Fartcoin. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Smart money investors could also bet on low caps. The recent being Routine, Ghibli, and Titcoin. This is why no one takes crypto seriously. This is just a shill artist saying a bunch of stupid stuff. Look, at the end, he's like, go look at the Solaxi. All credibility gone. Dude's full of it. How many times did we say Fartcoin in 5 minutes? I don't know. But what I do know is that this drop was the biggest drop we've had on the NASDAQ since 2020. That is wild. Look at that gap down, man. This is crazy. Gapped yesterday, gapped today, continued just getting murdered. S&P's getting murdered. How Bitcoin is still up right now is beyond me. Like, why is this chart? Why doesn't it have candles on it? Why does BitGet do this to me? Oh, thank you for my $50 voucher to go play on some random bot that somebody's going to lose all my money with. Thank you. How Bitcoin is still up here is beyond me. With this getting murdered like this bad, right? It's all because Fartcoin's holding up Bitcoin. Apparently. So there's the S&P. S&P's going down, right? Let's look at the NASDAQ. Dude. Look at that. Wow. We are about to bounce off of like two of the most critical supports. If we get below this is really bad for our market, like real talk. If you go below this, like, it's not awesome. And you're like bouncing off of it right now. Like you're within spitting distance of it as it sits. That's scary, man. It's scary here. Let's move this up just a little bit. To the top end of these candles, or to the bottom end of these candles, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is not great news for our markets. You're tapped into that. You're tapped into that zone. If the S&P and NASDAQ keeps tanking, dude, Bitcoin's going to get wrecked. I can promise you that. Look, even gold's going down right now. It's crazy. It's nuts. But you could start longing gold down here. Right here. Where's my other long? Yeah, right here. $3,000. This one's a little less safe. I don't know, man. The markets are looking crazy, dude. The markets are looking crazy. So in any case, in other news, right? In other news, the validators continue to validate. Good God. Like, in other news, just I feel like I need to reiterate this. I don't control the markets. I don't control where ETH goes. I don't control where Avalanche goes, Flux. I don't control where Sonic goes. I also don't control how long we stay down here before we go up to where we want it to go. I control none of that. What I do control is not being weak-handed and understanding that all of our positions are still up except for Flux. That's the only one that's got wrecked to where it's like below what we bought it for. It is what it is. And that's actually our smallest position. If you think about it. ETH is still up by like over 50%. Avalanche is still up by like probably like 25%, maybe. Even with the wreckage. Sonic is up 2x still, which was used to be FTM, right? We're still going to hold on to our Sonic for the airdrop. We're going to make more money off the airdrop than we would validating. The ETH validators continue to validate. We've had a hell of a time keeping the ETH validators up. Now that they're trying to do all these upgrades, they're kind of messing up the network. So I'm doing my best to keep the validators up. I had to resync almost the entire blockchain for like it took like 9 days. It sucked. But I think everything should be good now, at least until they do the upgrade and they're like, oh, by the way, it's all going to you're going to have to do it all over again. Right. So just, be prepared for that. AVAX validator continues to validate. Flux masternodes continue to masternode. And that's that. And Wolfer is still going to do what it's going to do. And if you want to know what Wolfer's doing, go into the Discord and get in and click on the video where I cover that in abundance. It's like a 30-minute video. It catches you up on everything that we're doing, that we've done, where we could be potentially going, what our plans are, all that stuff. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for showing up. I'll let you get back to your hashtag Friday Pie Days, baby, with your beautiful families. Everybody have a good day. I will see you in the next video. Peace.